Hands on heads, eyes on me. 1, 2, 3. Please come sit down and join me for our first online video. All right, Cubs and Lions, welcome back to class. I know this is a little different, but we're going to have lots of fun today and tomorrow in our next online video. And then next week, I can't wait to be back in the classroom and see you and hear all about your wonderful Christmas holidays and all the fun things that you did. So today is Wednesday, January, a whole new month. Remember, September, October, November, December, January. January. Let's count. Are you ready? Now, we all had New Year's Day. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What comes after 5? Is it 6? Yes, 6. So today is Wednesday, January 6th. All right, let's get started. Today we are going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do when we get back to school and read a story and make a craft. Now, we are going to have so much fun this month in January. We are going to investigate snowflakes, which means that we're going to find out more about what a snowflake is and where does it come from. So, one of the things that we do with snow is what? We pack it into a ball and then we roll it bigger and bigger and bigger and make a huge snowman. So today we're going to read a story about making snowmen and we are going to make a fun little snowman craft. Now, for this craft, we need a toilet paper tube, a piece of white paper, a piece of black paper, and a balloon. A pipe cleaner would be good if you have it. You might need some tape. Well, you will need some tape. You'll need some glue and you'll need some tape. So, again, a toilet paper tube, a piece of white paper, a piece of black paper, some tape, a balloon, and maybe a marker and a pipe cleaner so you can decorate your snowman. Okay? Now, you will also need, at the end, some cotton balls or some pom-poms, whichever you happen to have. Okay? So we will talk about that in a moment, but let's read a story. So we have Snowman Magic. It had been snowing all day. Snowing, snowing, snowing. George was bored. There was no school, so he needed something to do. He kept looking out the window. Would it ever stop? The next morning, the sun was shining. When George looked out the window, everything was a brilliant white. The snow was so bright it was almost hard to look at. If he squinted, he could see it was very deep, and it had drifted high against the slope in his backyard. George put on his warm socks, his snow pants, and his flannel shirt. Then he put on his snow jacket, his boots, his mittens, and his hat. He was ready. Outside, the air smelled clean and cold. George plunged into the snow. It was fluffy, but crunchy too. He made a snowball and threw it against a tree. It was very, very quiet. George took some snow and packed it into a small ball. Then he started rolling the ball in the snow. The ball got bigger and bigger, and when the ball got too heavy, to roll, he stopped rolling it near the bottom of the slope. Then he started rolling a medium-sized ball. He put it on top of his big ball. Finally, he made a small ball for the head. George went inside the house and found a scarf in a closet and a carrot in the refrigerator. In the old days, his mother told him people used to take pieces of coal and use them to make eyes. But there wasn't any coal in George's house. So he found 2 buttons and brought them outside with the scarf and the carrot. He carefully pushed the buttons into the small ball near the top. He stuck the carrot in the center. He found a few small twigs and used them to make a mouth. He wrapped the scarf between the top ball and the middle ball, and he found 2 branches to stick into the sides of the middle ball. It was the perfect snowman. George turned his head. He thought he saw the snowman smiling at him. Could it be? "Time for a snack," said George. He went inside the house and got 2 mugs of hot chocolate and some cookies. He put them on the snow table. "Would you like something to eat?" George asked. "I can't drink hot chocolate," the snowman said, "but a cookie would be nice." It was magic! After their snack, George made a cave, tunneling deep into the slope. He piled up snowballs at the entrance, then he threw a couple at the snowman. The snowman made some snowballs and threw them back at George. His long branch arms helped him throw the snowballs very far. It was hard to say who won the fight, but it was still fun. The snowman chased George around the yard, and then George chased the snowman. The snowman couldn't move that fast, so it was easy for George to sneak up on him. It was starting to get dark. George didn't want to go inside, but his mother was calling him. "Goodbye, snowman," he said. "I will see you tomorrow." George thought he heard the snowman say, "Good night." The next day, it was warmer. The sun was even brighter, and the snowman was shrinking. George played with him all day, but he could tell that the snowman just didn't have quite the same energy. Then it was Monday. George had to go to school. It was another bright, warm day. When he came home, the snowman was almost gone. The scarf and the carrot and the buttons had slid down. He could hardly recognize his snowman. The cave had collapsed too, and the snow table had melted. The next morning, George looked out the window. It was snowing! Snowing, snowing, snowing. He couldn't wait to build his snowman again. The end. All right, my friends, cubs and lions, I hope that you have had a chance to get all of the materials that you need. Remember, we need a toilet paper tube, some black paper and some white paper, a pen or a marker, maybe a pipe cleaner, or maybe some colorful tape or other colored paper would be fine for a little scarf. You'll need some tape to attach the balloon and some pom-poms or cotton balls. Now, I'm going to kind of do the steps here for you, and we'll put our little snowman popper together. And then we'll see what we can do with him. All right, so I am going to take my white paper and holding up the tube to the paper, I'm going to kind of measure across where I'm going to cut so that I have a strip of paper that is about the same size as the toilet paper tube so that I can glue it around and make it white like snow. Okay, so if you're cutting, remember, thumb on top, fingers on the bottom, and we open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little cut, cut, cut. Okay, making sure that we're using nice form so that we don't have our chicken wings out and our helping hand holds the paper. Okay, now I have a piece of paper that's about the same height as my toilet paper tube, so I'm going to take some glue or some tape and I am going to attach my paper to the toilet paper tube. Now I have tape. My glue seems to have wandered off, so I'm going to just use tape here right now. And just because this one I'm just showing you the steps. So I have a little bit of tape there. You could glue it straight along that strip and that would be perfect as well. Now I'm going to roll that paper all the way around, and if it overlaps, that is okay. You may want to trim it so it just fits perfectly, or you may decide to let it overlap, and that's all right too. Another piece of tape or two, attach that, and you have the body of our snowman. Now, what we need is a hat. So I'm going to take the black. Now, you could adjust it and make it very fancy if you want to and try and adapt it any way that you'd like. I am just going to make a skinny little strip, again, the wide way instead of the long way, the wide way of the paper, so it just wraps around. And I want it to stand up a little ways but still overlap slightly. So you can make your hat as tall as you'd like. Remembering with our scissors, thumb on top, and I know my chicken wings out here right now so that I can show you, but thumb on top, fingers all on the bottom, okay? And we open, shut them, give a little cut, cut, cut. Okay, so now I'm going to tuck my chicken wing in, hold up my paper with my helping hand, and can you sing with me? Open, shut them, open, shut them. Ooh, give a little cut, cut, cut. Okay, and then I have the hat. Now, again, I'm just going to use a little piece of tape to attach it here, wrap it around, and like I said, your hat can be as tall or as short as you'd like. Mine's a little taller in my second one than the first sample one that I've done. That's okay. So a little bit of tape to hold it on. Try to make sure that you put it on straight, otherwise your hat might wind up being a little crooked and then it won't go around properly. But nonetheless, there we go. Wrap it around. I might trim that one just so that I have kind of these seams at the back of my snowman, otherwise it's going to wrap around a little bit to the front. So I'm going to trim that. A little piece of tape just to kind of hold it on where I want it to be. And then on the back, I'm just going to trim it so that I keep those seams to the back, just to keep it a little bit neater. Open, shut, give a little cut, cut, cut. Okay, and then with a little piece of tape, and I'm gonna seal up that little seam right there. Okay, there we go. Now I have a little snowman. He's got a pretty tall hat today. That's okay. And much taller than my other snowman, which if you make it that much taller, you could trim it down shorter if you wanted to. And that'll be okay. I'm going to leave this guy with a tall hat and we'll see how it works. Next, you can... I might leave decorating the face and things till the very end. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our balloon. I grabbed a white one, but it really doesn't matter what color you have. So you're going to take your balloon and we're going to tie a knot in the end. Okay, so tie a knot. Okay, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip the top of my balloon off. You don't want to snip too far down. If you snip really far down, it is going to be too wide around the base of your snowman and it won't fit on very well. You want to just snip the very top so that it is pretty snug when you slide it over the edge of the tube. So just the top little bit I'm going to snip that off and see, and obviously we're going to use a little bit of tape to seal it on there. Okay, now I'm going to put that balloon over top of on the bottom of the snowman. Okay, oh, see, so you don't want it to come off real easily, but we are going to tape it on, but you don't want it to be such a big hole that it just slides right off. Okay, now we're going to make sure that it's nice and smooth. You want a little bit of the balloon on there so that it's not going to go anywhere, because we are going to be putting some pressure on that balloon when we pull it down. Okay, now, so there we go. I am going to add some tape. Now I have white duct tape. Maybe you have black, maybe you have red, maybe you have all kinds of pretty colors. Whatever color you have is just fine. Okay, now I am going to take a piece off and might as well. Okay, so I'm going to use the full width. You could use just half of it if you wanted to. So I'm going to look at kind of where the toilet paper tube is, the end of it, and match up the tape right there. And then wrap that tape around, making sure that it's nice and sealing that. I don't think I made mine long enough, so I'm going to have to use, oh, just perfect. Whoops. A little bit wrinkly, that's okay. Just met on the other side. So you're just going to make that nice and smooth and make sure that it seals really nice and tight. Now, after that, kind of comes the fun part. Now, he's all done. But, does he look like a snowman? Maybe not really. I think that he needs some eyes. Now, you could, if you wanted to, glue some buttons on or some, put some stickers on if you want, or some googly eyes would be super fun. I am just going to draw some eyes on mine and make a little mouth out of little dots. If you have a marker or different colors, you could draw color in his nose in orange if you want to be like a carrot. And then maybe you're going to add some buttons. So we'll add some buttons down. Now I am going to show you what we can do with our little snowman. Okay, so I'm going to use a pipe cleaner for the scarf, but you can choose to use tape, like I said, or maybe cut a piece of colored paper or whatever you'd like. I'm just going to use a pipe cleaner just because it's easy to twist it on and kind of sticks out. Looks like a little scarf would, and I'm happy with that. So there's my little snowman. I've used a purple pipe cleaner today and a white balloon, but again, whatever colors you have is just fine because it's more about what we're going to do with him now that he's made. So if you have some cotton balls or some pom-poms, now let's take a pom-pom, test it out, see what works the best. Now, I am going to throw the pom-pom inside, hold on, and I don't know if it went so fast that you couldn't see it there. Maybe I'll use a bigger one. But once you put it in there and you pop it, it goes flying. Test it out. Maybe make a few of them and have a little competition with mom and dad and see how far can your snowman pop those snowballs. We'll call them snowballs. They're little pom-poms, or if you use cotton balls, they'll look even more like snowballs. But have some fun. Pop those snowballs, those cotton balls or pom-poms, whatever you have. Have some competitions. Maybe have a little snowball popping fight with your family and if you have siblings or your mom or your dad. Okay, have lots of fun with it. I hope you enjoyed our little snowman popper craft and our story, and I can't wait to see you and do another craft with you tomorrow. Bye, lions. Bye, cubs.